sea monster on 2 legs. True story.
When my friends and I rented a beach house in Florida, I never could have expected how things would have turned out. It was the 4 of us in a cramped car driving down there. The house was directly on the beach. It was on this road that had the bay in front of the house across the street, and then in the backyard was literally the beach. There were some huge houses on this road, and some smaller, more normal-looking ones. This was one of the more modest-looking ones. It had 4 bedrooms, so a bedroom for each of us. The houses were spaced out on this road, creating a sense of privacy. And the whole time we were unloading the car out front, not a single car passed by on this road. The interior of the house was decent. It wasn't spectacular, but it was modest, clean, and the owners were really pushing a beach theme with the wall decor. I guess it would make sense considering the location. There was even a decorative surfboard in one corner of the living room behind the TV. The living room looked out to the back deck, which then looked out to the beach. The view was amazing. The deck wasn't elevated very high off the ground. It was just 2 steps down and onto the sand. We all claimed our bedrooms. I managed to get one of the rooms with a view of the beach. First thing we did after settling in was, of course, walking outside and laying on the beach. We all went in the water at one point and then played football. We were definitely on the beach for a few hours. We seemed to be the only ones on the beach apart from this older-looking couple way down the beach. Afterwards, we went out to eat, and then started bar hopping in the town area. When we Ubered back, it was dark out. We went outside on the beach to fuck around and play late-night football while we were kinda drunk. As I was running to grab the ball after missing a catch, I noticed something in the water. The moon reflecting on the ocean was the only reason I could see it. I said, "What the fuck is that?" out loud, and then realized it was a person standing in the water, about waist deep. My friends looked over and said they saw it too. It was only a little weird because of the time. It was like past midnight, but hey, if a local wants to go for a midnight swim, that's their business. We then went to sit on the deck and drink beers for a while until we got tired, and one by one, everyone started going inside to go to sleep. My friend John and I were the last ones out there. I had been every once in a while glancing in the direction I saw that person before in the water, just out of curiosity. And so eventually, when I shot a glance in that direction, I spotted someone standing on the beach. They appeared to be just standing there facing us. It was kind of creepy. Maybe a neighbor. I didn't want to be rude, but I wondered if it was the same person. We tried to ignore it, but John was facing that person, and after a while, he said they were still just standing there facing us. I stood up and looked over and saw he was right. I yelled out, "Is everything okay?" John asked, "Why'd you do that?" I honestly didn't know what I was expecting. They didn't even reply anything, though. We were officially creeped out, so we went inside. The other 2, Travis and Liam, were already in their rooms, probably knocked out from drinking. So John and I decided to just call it a night too, so that we could have a full day tomorrow. If I had to guess, it was 12:30 to 1 a.m., which was honestly on the earlier side, but we were all burnt out from the long day. I went to my room after brushing my teeth. I looked out the window wanting to take a look to the ocean before crawling into bed. This is where the creepiness factor escalated substantially, because there was now someone standing in front of the back deck, facing the house. I felt like they were facing my window. The figure of the person appeared to be male, considering the slightly larger frame. It was undoubtedly the same person from before. I called John's name. He didn't reply. So I ran to his room and banged on his door, telling him to come out. He came out pretty quickly, and I led him to my window to look outside. But now the person was gone. I swore to him that the person from earlier was just standing as still as before, right in front of our deck. He believed me. We weren't about to go outside and look around, though. I took one more look to make sure that they were still gone. Then I shut the blind to the bedroom window. But as I lay awake in bed, rolling from side to side, trying to sleep, I just couldn't shake the feeling that someone was still outside. Who was that person? Why were they creeping around? My thoughts were interrupted by the sickening sound of a fist knocking on the bedroom window. I felt like my insides just shriveled up and my heart completely dropped out of my body. I laid silent and frozen. Moments later, another light set of knocks on the glass. I didn't dare lift the blind, though. I couldn't gather the courage to. I almost yelled, "Who is it?" but I stopped myself. Instead, I ran out to the living room, screaming for everyone to wake up. Everyone, one by one, came out of their rooms. No one was at the window when we checked. All four of us went out to the deck and turned on the lights to the deck. We looked out onto the beach and didn't see anyone. We also checked the front and sides of the house. No one. John and I had to explain to the other two what they missed when they fell asleep. We kept the backyard lights on that night. The next day, John and I went to the two nearest neighbors and asked them if they had also experienced someone knocking on their windows or doors. One of the neighbors told us a genuinely freaky encounter he had a week earlier. Someone knocked on their door in the middle of the night, and when he asked who it was, they wouldn't answer and just kept knocking, so he didn't answer the door. I'm not sure if it was connected, but if it was, that just makes this even scarier. We spent the rest of the day on the beach, exploring nearby towns and hitting bars. Nothing happened that night. We left the next day. I still wonder what I would have seen if I had lifted the blinds.